What's up, guys? It's your boy Just Vel here in the building, letting you know that I'm coming at you with all my thoughts about WWE Raw from last night, January 14th. Now, I must say, before I get started, please hit that subscribe button. All the subscriptions that I can get are much appreciated. I do this because I'm just trying to get my thoughts out on what I think about the wrestling business. You know, this is something that I love, something that I'm passionate about. Leave your comments, good or bad, they're all welcome. But make sure you hit that subscribe button. You know, the more people that follow, the more people that listen, the better. I'm doing this because I love it. So if you want to hear what I have to say, please feel free to tune in. I will be doing this weekly. I'll also be doing some videos about what I think WWE is missing right now, which is probably a lot in my opinion. I've been watching, WWE and wrestling in general for about 35 years now, so I'm pretty in tune on what the business is going through. But like I said, make sure you hit that subscribe button at the bottom of this page and tune in weekly and let me know what you think. Finally, guys, we were able to see some good WWE content last night for once. I tuned in, with no expectations. They've been telling us for a few weeks now that they're going to be listening to it, the fans, and they're going to be changing some things up, and they're going to leave it in our hands, and everything that they're going to be doing is going to be what we've been wanting for a while now. But in my opinion, this was the best Raw that they've had in months, if not years. Definitely better than any Raw or SmackDown from 2018. I'll just say that. There were times during the show where I thought we could be back in the Attitude Era. The backstage segments were great. The spot where the coffee guy walked in on Alexa Bliss, that was awesome, with her not having a top on. And that was an Attitude Era moment right then and there. That definitely got my attention. I'm pretty sure everybody knows how hot Alexa Bliss is. So that was a great spot. Also, the storyline actually continued throughout the night. Instead of jumping all around like they had been doing all these years, it was great. It seemed like the writers finally decided to wake the hell up and do something about the stale product that they've been having, all these years. And I think that that has everything to do with All Elite Wrestling, AEW, coming to fruition with Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks coming in town and letting them know like there's going to be some competition. Of course we have Impact and Ring of Honor, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and all the other indie promotions, but none of them could really hold a candle to, what Vince is doing with the WWE. And, they weren't even getting the amount of ratings that NXT was getting. So with AEW coming and they're being backed by a billionaire, I think Vince got a little jolt in his ass and, said, hey, to these writers, we need to do something about this product. We need to step our game up and we need to give the fans what they've been waiting for. Stating that we got some competition, so they got to produce a good show for once. Like I said, I guess good competition is all Vince needed to get his head out of the XFL's ass, because that's where it's been. The XFL is supposed to be starting in 2020, and he's even been selling some stock to, get money for that show. So for that production, and for years, he's been putting his efforts into that and, taking his efforts away from the WWE, and it's been showing. The WWE product has been slacking because of it. The writers have been getting lazy, and, it's time for him to put, his efforts back into the WWE and give us fans what we want. The one thing that wrestling fans care about is wrestling. That's what we want to see. We don't care about your XFL and, all these other products, ventures that you got going on. We want to see a good wrestling show. And last night, we finally got that. Just a quick breakdown of, the highlights of the show. Like I said, we got Vince showing up in his limo, and he sees a smear on the limo and doesn't like it. So to me, what that says is, because he had the limo driver come out and, wipe the smear off, and in my opinion, that was significant because he's paying attention to detail. And you may not really know what that meant by him saying, hey, there's a smear on this limo. But this was significant because it's showing that Vince is taking every detail serious. The fact that AEW showed up basically told Vince, we're in the building now. I feel they kind of woke him up, and now that was kind of symbolization of him paying attention to what's going on in his surroundings, and that just let us know that, Vince is paying attention to detail. He wants his writers to pay attention to every little thing that's going on, because every little detail in that show last night mattered. Letting them know nothing better be out of place. We better hit a home run basically with this show, because like I said, AEW is coming. So he was setting the stage right off the bat saying, look, pay attention to everything that's going on tonight. I guarantee you he's paying attention to AEW. So maybe he feels AEW is a smear, on his ass, and he can't jump, just wipe them off, like he did with WCW. And, but only time will tell. We'll see what happens with AEW in the months to come. We're still waiting for them to get a TV deal. I'm pretty sure that, if they're celebrating and doing this big promotion, that they probably got one by now, but, we'll see. Anyway, so back to the show, we got Braun Strowman, in the middle of the ring, and based off his last promo in the ring last week where he forgot his lines, I was kind of covering my eyes, hoping that he doesn't give us another blunder like he did last week. He tells Brock he's 100% cleared and he's coming for him. He's the monster. Who freaking cares? That, I didn't, because what has he done, since they pretty much dropped the ball with him these last couple months? First, they, were pushing Roman Reigns, and, unfortunately, Roman Reigns came down with leukemia and he had to step away. So then they tried to give us, Braun Strowman again. And by that time, we weren't really backing Braun Strowman. He was red hot at one point. And, they tagged him up with a 10-year-old at WrestleMania. Like, come on, man. I just didn't understand that. But, what really bothered me was, if he's supposed to be some monster, last week he pretty much let, Brock Lesnar circle him, like he was prey. Brock, does his thing where he circles the ring and he has his prey standing in the ring as if he's going to attack. But if you're supposed to be the monster, you're supposed to be the challenger. You should be chasing the champion. You shouldn't be letting the champ walk around you and eyeing you like he's prey. You should be going after him. So that's pretty much what happened last night. He was standing in the middle of the ring, saying, Brock, I'm coming after you. I'm going to, beat you at WrestleMania, or excuse me, at Royal Rumble. And out comes Baron Corbin, and what they're doing with Baron Corbin, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Baron Corbin and what he's doing, what they've been doing with him. But Braun Strowman jumps out of the ring, chases him down, and that's what he should have been, that's what he should have did last week to Brock Lesnar. But he chases him down and chases him out of the arena into the backstage area, and they cut to Elias, who's on his guitar, and he's singing a song, and he basically tells Braun Strowman through song where Baron Corbin is, and he's hiding in Mr. McMahon's limo. So Braun Strowman gets down to the limo, and I don't know what he has in his hand, some type of pipe, or maybe it's a bat, I'm not really sure. But he breaks the glass, he's yanking on the door. He ends up, yanking the door off the hinges, and, Baron Corbin flees out of the other side, and, Braun Strowman is like, you better run, you better get away. And all of a sudden Vince McMahon pops up, and he's like, what the hell have you just done? You ruined my limo. This is going to cost you $100,000. And Braun Strowman's like, no, I'm not paying $100,000. Are you kidding me? And so he's talking back to Vince, and Vince is like, you know what? You're out of the Royal Rumble match. Your title match has been taken away. And, Braun Strowman lifts, the limo and flips it over on his head, and that was great. Where has that been, for months? We want to see backstage segments like that. So I thought that was great. There was some insignificant moments in the show as well. I thought, we could have done without, such as the line of guys that were waiting to replace Braun in the Royal Rumble match. I thought that was pointless. Otis of Heavy Machinery coming out to interrupt a moment of bliss, which I think is a great segment for Alexa Bliss. We'll get into more of that here in a little bit. And the Lucha House Party taking on the Revival for what I feel is like the 10th time already in the last 2 months. Who wants to see boring Revival and Lucha House Party? I certainly don't. And last but not least, the horrible match between Tamina and Nia Jax versus Ronda Rousey and Sasha Banks. Now, they could have just scrapped the match and just given me the promo from Sasha and Ronda Rousey. To me, that was the best part of that whole segment. It was the best promo Sasha Banks has given in, I don't know, God knows how long. She went back to the legit boss days when she was in NXT, fighting Charlotte and fighting Bayley, when she was a heel. She carried the match. Obviously, she carried the promo. And when she gave Ronda the four fingers, I just thought that was excellent. She let her know that it's the four horsewomen. And that moment let me know that the four horsewomen of WWE are going to be facing the four horsewomen of UFC, MMA, whatever you want to call those girls. However, 3 of those four horsewomen from the MMA, they're still down in NXT. So are they really ready to be facing Charlotte, who was a 7-time women's champion? Sasha Banks, 4-time women's champion. Bayley, 1-time women's champion. And Becky Lynch, 2-time women's champion. Are you really saying that the four horsewomen of MMA are ready to step into the ring with those 4 from the WWE? I think not. But we have some months, they're going to build that up. They already started that program, as you can see, because Sasha Banks gave Ronda Rousey the four horsewomen symbol as she walked off of Raw. So, I just feel like there's no chance in hell that they're going to be able to compete with them in the ring. Those 4 women from the WWE, the four horsewomen, stand above everyone on the WWE roster right now. They are the four horsewomen for a reason, so we'll see. More to come on that. The Intercontinental Championship match was awesome. I'll tell you that right now. I thought that Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, and Bobby Lashley, all 3 of them delivered. Lots of great moments and teaming up to take out the other guys in the match. The crowd finally woke up for once. It was pretty dead in Memphis. They were pretty dry all night. I was a bit surprised that Lashley ended up walking out with the title, but happy at the same time, because Dean Ambrose's title reign was like watching paint dry on a Friday night in the dark. It's been boring. He's nothing significant that he's done with that title since he's won it from Seth Rollins. So like I said, Lashley picks up the win with the spear, and that match was awesome. This should put Seth right in the title reign, the title picture. And I have him in the title picture come Royal Rumble, and he's my pick to walk out of the Royal Rumble looking at the huge WrestleMania sign at the end of the night. That's my pick, is Seth Rollins to win the Royal Rumble this year. I will be giving my picks in another video probably next Sunday for my picks for the Royal Rumble matches. So, tune into that. That'll be coming soon. Back to the, last night, we also got a moment of bliss. Now, Alexa Bliss is definitely a hot woman, and I'm not mad at WWE for giving her a segment while she's recovering from her many concussions. A lot of you may not know, but she has been suffering from concussions. That's why she hasn't been, cleared to wrestle. So she hasn't been stepping in the ring because of that. So WWE is taking their time with her. Obviously, they don't want another situation where, she takes a bump and, she can't wrestle anymore. So they're trying to, take as much precaution as possible in easing her back into a wrestling ring before, they don't want to do that before she's ready. So I'm glad they're taking the time to give her as much time as possible, so that she can be ready, because she is a big focal point of the WWE and she's great on the mic. So I'm glad they're, giving her a segment. And before they even had a moment of bliss, I was saying, hey, why don't we have any women who have a talk show? You had Chris Jericho with his talk show, Talk is Jericho. You had Edge and Christian. You had The Miz. So, Roddy Piper from back in the day, he had his talk show. So, there were no women who had talk shows, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember any. So, and I've been around for a while, and I don't remember any women having their own talk show. So this may be the first one. So I thought it was great that they gave her a moment of bliss. Like I said, she can go on the mic, and you have to keep her, doing something. So before she brings out her next guest, what does she do? She unveils the tag team championships for the women. And I've been looking for these belts, and I'm like, okay, where are they? And I mean, these belts are freaking awesome. They're better than the men's tag team titles, both Raw and SmackDown for the men. They both look like nickel and dime championships that they just put on leather belts. They're horrible. So these women's tag team titles are awesome. These are belts that I'd actually buy for my daughters. And so I'm happy that they finally presented those and brought those out. And like I said, they're awesome, guys. If you haven't seen them, look them up online. They're sweet. So we finally get to her guest. She brings out Paul Heyman, who I think is the best talker in the business, if not all time. He's right up there with Bobby Heenan, who I think is, top 3 greatest of all time talkers in this business. So he gives some decent praise to all 4 competitors who are going to be in the Fatal 4-Way match. Baron Corbin, John Cena. Who else we got in there? They had Finn Balor and Drew McIntosh. Now, Finn Balor had a match earlier, with Jinder Mahal. And Jinder Mahal picked him. Vince McMahon said, hey, if you want to be in that Fatal 4-Way, you got to pick one of these other, one of these 4 competitors to replace. And if you can beat them, then you're in the match. So he thinks that he can beat Finn Balor, so that's who he picks. And Finn Balor just, picks up the victory. It was a great match, I must say, but Finn Balor picks up the victory. And at that point, I said to myself, Finn Balor is going to win this Fatal 4-Way because they're not going to put him in 2 matches for him just to lose. And that was just my thinking. And what happens? Obviously, he wins. And, it was a great match. Lots of good spots. But he ends up winning that match and goes on to face Brock Lesnar at Royal Rumble. And at the end of the match, John Cena puts him over. It's kind of like a passing of the torch, letting him know, like, he gives him good praise and saying, hey, you guys should get behind him. I believe in you. Even if Vince McMahon doesn't believe in you, you got one more guy who believes in you besides the WWE universe. So I thought it was a great moment. Finn Balor hasn't really done much of significance in 2018. He hadn't even really been in the title hunt since he had to drop the Universal title once he injured his shoulder, and he never even got a rematch. So it's about time that he's been, that he got a rematch. He did go up against Roman Reigns for his rematch, but I know the match that he wanted was against Brock Lesnar. So I'm glad that he's finally getting that match, and we're gonna see. What really is gonna bother me is if they give us the Finn Balor that just comes out and he's smiling. He has on the. I don't want the leather jacket Finn Balor. I want the undefeated demon Finn Balor that was in NXT and would come out with the red and black paint over his face and the long tongue coming from his neck. I want that Finn Balor. I want the demon Finn Balor. That's the only demon that we want in here. We've been asking for it. WWE, give it to us, because that's the only way that Finn Balor is going to win this match. If you give us the leather jacket Finn Balor, there's no way he's beating Brock Lesnar. You mean to tell me that leather jacket Finn Balor is going to beat Brock Lesnar when Daniel Bryan couldn't beat Finn Balor or couldn't beat Brock Lesnar? Roman Reigns had multiple shots. He couldn't beat Brock Lesnar. It took him a while. He finally got it done. But you mean to tell me that regular Finn Balor is going to beat Brock Lesnar on Brock Lesnar's worst day? He probably couldn't beat him. So we want the demon Finn Balor. That's the only way that we're going to buy into this and feel like, Finn Balor is going to have a shot. Give us demon Finn Balor at the Royal Rumble, please. Please do that. Now, to be honest, we have to have, like I said, the demon Finn Balor in that main event. If we don't, you're just basically letting us know that Brock Lesnar is going to Royal Rumble or going to WrestleMania. So throw us a curveball. Do something that we haven't seen before. We want to see the Demon versus the Beast, and like I said, that's the main event that we want at the Royal Rumble. All right. So that was my review, guys, for the show. All in all, I thought it was it was a better show than any show they put on in 2018 for sure. Like I said, with the emergence of All Elite Wrestling, it seems like WWE continues to put forth an effort into its product instead of focusing more on outside products that going forward. So let's see if they do that, going forward. We don't want to just think, oh, hey, they'll be doing this every week. I don't know. Come on, guys. Do we really think that WWE is gonna put on a great show every week? Let's just wait and see. So that's the approach that I'm taking. I'm taking a wait and see approach to this to see if They're going to put on a great show every week now that they got some type of competition coming. So, all in all, like I said, I'm taking a wait and see approach to this, and hopefully they give us some great wrestling products each week. They're on Monday, Tuesday for SmackDown, Raw on Monday. They got NXT on Wednesday. Make it so that we want to tune in and keep us on our, on the edge of our seats every week. I don't want to be looking down at my phone or, pausing the channel or flipping through channels because there's a Lucha House Party revival match. Give us something that we can sink our teeth into. So that's all I'm asking, WWE. Give us something that we can follow each week and want us tune in every week so that we won't, put us on the edge of our seats. That's what I'm saying. Put us on the edge of our seats. Get us back every week and knock our socks off, all right? So until next time, guys, this is Jess Bell signing off. Boom.